Hello, hello, how are you? This is JilliBling, and I have one more project using Playful Ghosts. So I know I've used this quite a bit. Had no idea I would love it so much, but I do. These four little images are just adorable and very fun to color. It's not too much, but adding bright colors, a splash of color is awesome. So this project, I'll show you the other two also. This project is using some retired product, but it would be easily exchanged for whatever you have on hand. The designer paper, somehow I have like 5 packages of it. What was I thinking? I don't know. I do like, the other side is black and white. I do like black and white, but to me, every time I see the gray and black, it means Halloween. So I think it's perfect for this project. And the dies, you could use deckled rectangles or any fun shape you have for your focal, like a layer for your focal. I'm using a retired set called Stitched So Sweetly. And I love it so much just because it's a layering die set that I haven't got rid of it, but it works perfect here. But like I said, whatever you have, even if it's a fun, maybe a little bit fancier shape. So this is today's project. And yeah, I went a little crazy. The rest of them are a bit more simple, where this one is stamped and cut out by hand. And then I stamped it full strength, 2nd generation, 3rd generation, to make it look like he's kind of swooping in. The ghost with just a little bow. Happy Halloween! And I did the background with the stamps, the cloud and the bat stamps. And then on the inside, just a little bit. This one, somehow, it might be my favorite. Just the simple pumpkins, trick or treat, and then the same 3 pumpkins on the inside. These are kind of shadowed in the background, and then this one, stamped in white, colored, and cut out. I want to do another one like this. So this ghost, if you look at the box, you're like, wait a minute, your ghost is taller. And I just cut him and put him just a little bit higher. And then he's got all kinds of pumpkins hanging out around him. Boo! Happy Halloween. So I want to do one like this, maybe going in a different direction. So I mentioned the other 3. This is the 3rd project. The other ones are, yeah, I got a lot of them. This was the last project, the 4-panel. Cute. This was the first project using the Drizzling Dots embossing, or Drizzling Dots large background die with silver embossing powder, taking a blending brush with grape and kind of making it darker at the top, a little bit ombre. And on this project, somehow, this is the first one, I felt inclined to use each and every image. Turned out really cute, but that's a lot of cutting and coloring. And then this was the 4-panel using some retired paper. This one is a little bit simple, but somehow I like it. Adding in the Lost Lagoon paper, I kept saying, no, you can't do that for Halloween. But I did. And when you look on the inside, the ghost has a Lost Lagoon cape. And I think it kind of brings it all together. But I like how simple it is with just the swoosh of ribbon in the background. That's a repeat. Oop. This is the project I did before that. Using More Than Autumn stamp set and dies. And you could see the video just a few days ago. Whew. Okay, let's get started on today's project. Let's keep this one handy. So if you don't have a demonstrator and you have an order or you have a wish list, I would love and appreciate if you could use this host code. And I have a link to my online store in the video description. And we'll be using black and white gingham ribbon. This is for the words. Let's just do I have the words done. Happy Halloween. So I just stamped the words on here, used the die to cut it out. And then the same with this piece of black paper. So those are already done. Convenient. That just gets layered on there. Okay. Happy Halloween! Tony loves orange. Pumpkin pie. If I give him any other thing that's close to orange and I don't like it because it looks orange, he's like, that's not orange. I'm like, well, show me, what is orange? He always points to this. For someone that doesn't like orange, I sure use it a lot. There, layer, layer, layer. And you know this one, I put the clouds in, but there was that one other that was real simple. And like looking at this, that's cute, but I did a lot of stamping in the background. This one here. This one is simple, and somehow I just like it. Maybe because the rest of it is kind of busy. So let's do, this one is kind of simple, where it just has the boo. Maybe it was this one. So that one, see how there's nothing on the background, which is fine. So let's do it something like that. I'm going to try not to stamp the clouds in the background. We'll see how that goes. So this one, I think I'm leaning toward doing it landscape. This one is portrait. Okay, so the very first one that I did all of the figures, cut them and colored them, I said I won't do that on these, just because it takes some time. Okay, so he is done. And they're all pretty much stamped, cut, and colored the same way. And I'll link to all 3 of these videos, so if you happen to get the stamp set, 3 completely different ideas, layouts, papers, kind of like a feel to them. They're all very different, but all very fun. So do you ever have a solid piece of paper, you're not going to put anything on it, and you flip it over to put glue on it, or adhesive or whatever? Why? Maybe habit. Okay, so this one has to flip over. Yeah, that's bright. That's not the nighttime theme I'm going for today. That could be good for like 4th of July or New Year's. And you could do like an ombre effect in the back with blending brushes, or try your brayer. How long has it been since you've used a brayer? Brayers, for a while, I was wanting to use them on anything, everything. So I flipped that over just because when I looked at it from this side, I could see just a tiny little lip, which is fine if it's on the front because that makes it easy for your thumb to grab it, but I don't want to see it. I could go back and refold it, but I think it's easier just to flip it over. Okay, and I'll put this on with dimensionals. So do you have any die sets that you just hang on to and you use over and over even though they're retired? I liked back in the day the layering circles, layering ovals, layering squares. Okay, he's gonna go here. Oh, I'm gonna do that stretch thing on him. Okay, you ready for this? Whoops. Sharpie pens. Oh, and I found that I am like the hoarder of Sharpies. In the last video I was mentioning how one thing led to another and I decided to somewhat rearrange my room, and it turned into a huge task. Kind of like how cleaning out the garage to get the stuff for baby coming at the end of this month. I mean, we're like 3 weeks away. How that turned into, oh, there's some cards, and oh, there's some old stamp supplies. I'm going to cut this a little closer. Anyhow, it turned into a big old thing. Anyhow, cleaning out my room, just like if you're cleaning out your closet, before you know it, you have stuff everywhere. And it's good to get it cleaned. I mean, you made the commitment and you're doing it. But I forgot what got me going there. Oh, Sharpies. And I kept finding Sharpies. I know I like Sharpies, but not that much. I like them. Okay, pumpkin, words. Oh, that's gonna work great. Kind of simple. And then I'm gonna put a bow on it. I think it needs a bow. Or it needs a whole bunch of bling or something. Oh, I have one right here. Double bow. I just have it all. There was one of the projects that I kept trying to put the bow on it. And it didn't work. Let me see. All the rest have a bow on them. That one does. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff over here. Oh, this one, I used some of the In Color mesh. That one, that's what this bow was intended for. And it couldn't find a home. So, good for us today. So, because there's so many pumpkins, there's some with the background, I'm fine if the bow covers up some of the pumpkins. And you know, looking at these, I'm looking at how much of a white border, little, big. I used my my brother's scan and cut. I stamped sheets. You know, Stampin' Up! White, 8.5 by 11 sheets of these. And nice. So every time I use that brother's scan and cut, it's like, this was the best purchase ever. But I say that every single time. But many times I end up trimming it just a little bit. I think I might need to recalibrate it. I'm not sure how to do that, because see how it's narrow down at the bottom, the white? Then it's a little bit more white at the top. If this was going on just plain white paper rather than an opposite color, such as basic gray, it wouldn't matter. But because it's so kind of obvious, and you know, I don't know that all people even pay attention to that. Some people, they find things in the die tray that somebody says, oh no, this isn't going to work. Oh, I colored it the wrong color. And they pick it up, they go, can I have this? I'm like, of course you can have it. They don't care. They're fine with it. Okay, pumpkin. I'm going to have the finely cut little edges down here against the black to make sure that they stand out. If I took time to cut it out all pretty, I think it needs to stand out. And dimensional under there and glue here. Ooh, I colored those good. Pulled out some new pumpkin pie markers. Okay, so this one, oh, we're going a different direction. When it was turned portrait, should they be popped up, both of them? I don't think half of it. Well, you know what, let me do it this way. So the big pumpkin has glue, the little pumpkin has a dimensional. It's kind of making it look like it's rounded. Like these pumpkins are saying, we got you. We're surrounding you. Okay. So this big one gets dimensional. And then over here on the inside, the little one gets glue. You know, because pumpkins stick together. Yeah. And I'm looking at how much is showing. This one's going to go in a little closer. He's kind of getting all up on that big pumpkin. Okay, so as I would say to Tony, that pumpkin is too close. He's shopping carting him. It's more, Tony said to me. So I know that these stories, you just need to know them. So the thing is, one time, it was years ago, maybe even a decade ago, we're going to Costco. And you know how sometimes you see all these cute couples and they're holding hands and swinging arms, and we've been married for decades, so we kind of, there's no need to do that. He always wants to hold my hand in the parking lot, which I think is really sweet. And that came from him one time at Safeway, grocery shopping. In the parking lot, he saw this older couple, which is probably how old we are now, and they were holding hands, just walking through the parking lot, doing their thing. He was like, it is just the sweetest thing ever. And in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And ever since then, he always wants to make sure to hold my hand in the parking lot. It's like, I'm all for that. Okay, so back to the story about shopping cart. So we're going to Costco. Cute couple walking in. I'm like, yeah, we don't do too much of that anymore. So he got the cart, and we went on our way to do our shopping. This one has to have another dimensional underneath there, because there's a dimensional under this panel, and I put one there, and I don't want a diving board. So if this is the cart, and their carts are big, and he was here pushing it, I came right over and I put my hands right there. And he's like, what are you doing? Do you want to push it? And I'm like, no, I just feel like being like your wife and everything. And he's like, oh. I'm like, do you not like it? He says, well, you're kind of, he wasn't going for it. So ever since then, if ever he's doing something, it's like, instead of saying, dude, you're in my way, I said, you're shopping carting me. And so around the house here, we refer to it all the time as, don't shopping cart me. Here's how it comes up often is, so Bo, his favorite place is the couch, probably because he has all his blankets and he stretches out on the whole thing. I mean, that's his place. So sometimes Tony looks at him, he's like, oh my gosh, he's so cute. And I'm like, I know. And so he gets onto the couch next to him. He sits next to him, and Bo he looks at him like, dude, what are you doing? I said, would you leave that dog alone? Don't be shopping carting him. So moral of the story, this pumpkin is shopping carting that one. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, where's this gonna go? I'm all distracted. I think it's gonna go right here. Maybe I made it too big. See, if I put it there, what's that have to do with anything? That's like when back in the day people would put buttons on things. I was one of them. Okay, it's just gonna go right here. I think I made these little things too big. It's like, why do we put buttons on things? It's not like we were sewing it. And I know it was kind of a trend, but whenever I see a card with a button on it, it's like, why? Why? Okay. Bit of glue. Okay, and then for the inside, I have a plan. The plan is to do it just like this one. Happy Halloween! Or I did Happy Halloween on the outside. Whew. Do you ever stamp the same thing on the inside as you just did on the outside? And you're like, oh, what do you do? That's a good catch. Trick or treat, right there. Okay, and it's a little crooked. So magic paper says, do over. That one going downhill too? That one's better. That one's not bad, but this one's better. Okay, and then the pumpkins. So leaving room for the middle colored one, which is already ready to roll, which I might have to trim that too. Let me get my pumpkin garbage can. A few more weeks. Won't use it anymore. I have a little one for each season. And it's fun to change them out. Okay, so there's one. And you don't have to be precise on this, because the other one's going to go over the top as if it's a pumpkin patch. This goes on with dimensionals because I could do that. Dimensional, dimensionals. Okay, we're looking good. This might be like a record time video because I didn't take time to color. I'll link in the description the other ones. But I think the images are so small that even if you didn't take time to do any of the blending, that would be okay. The pumpkins do look pretty good blended. Okay. There it is. Today's project done. Just like that. Happy Halloween. Okay, hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.